So you've been dating your man for some time now, and you can't help but think about your future together. Maybe that means worldly travels, or perhaps even children. Before these things happen though, you're really hoping to tie the knot and get married. So then, how do you make your boyfriend get down on one knee and commit to marrying you? Hey YouTube, Amy North here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a relationship coach from Vancouver, BC, and author of The Devotion System, a program I've designed to help women find and lock down their dream men. Today, what I want to share with you are the steps, or milestones rather, that you'll need to meet if you're looking to get your boyfriend to become your husband. Before I get started here, I want to quickly ask that if you enjoy this video or find it at all helpful, then please take a moment to hit the subscribe button below. Not only will I appreciate your support, but you'll also gain access to all of my other dating and relationship advice videos. So please don't forget to do so. Now, let's begin. So first things first. If you're going to get your man to marry you, it's important that you love yourself. Now you may be thinking this sounds odd. I mean, you already got the guy, so why should you focus on yourself? Well, believe it or not, so many men stick around in relationships even if they know they're not going to marry that person. Maybe it's for the convenience, or perhaps they just don't have the heart to call it quits with their girlfriend. Despite how unfair this may seem, or the reasons for doing so, it's true that there needs to be a certain amount of admiration if they are going to marry you. And when I say admiration, I mean it in two ways. First, he needs to admire you, obviously. And second, he needs to know that you admire yourself. After all, if you don't love you, then why should he? So, how do you show your guy that you love yourself? Well, the easiest way to do so is to have standards for yourself, a ceaseless sense of confidence, and most of all, a source of happiness that isn't him. As much as you may think that your man loves being your knight in shining armor, he's not there to fix you or fill a void. Sure, he'll support and protect you, but he needs to know that you are your own person. Now, this doesn't mean you need to hide all your flaws, because let's face it, if you've been dating for some time, then he's going to know your vulnerabilities. Rather, it means not depending on him to be your sole source of happiness and having your own life outside of the relationship. That's step one in any healthy partnership. If you'd like to learn my secret tips for upping your odds to appear even more confident around your man, then visit my site, www.coachnorth.com, and watch the free video presentation. The tricks you'll learn there will make him wild with desire for you. You don't want to miss it. The next step for getting your boyfriend to marry you is to share an emotional connection with him. Now, I say emotional connection here because, as you've probably guessed, it's about more than sex or being physically attracted to one another. Not to be mistaken for depending on one another for approval or support, an emotional connection happens when you and your man have mutual feelings towards the same things. For example, this could mean having shared goals or realizing the beauty in simply holding hands as you stroll together. It's about sharing similar morals and beliefs, about seeing eye to eye and behaving in a way that you know one another would be proud of, even when you're not together. It can be hard to pinpoint an exact moment or experience that will create this connection, but believe me, you'll know it when you feel it, because when you do share an emotional connection, you'll feel an unspeakable sense of belonging and acceptance between you and your boyfriend. Once the two of you build this connection, he'll be more inclined to want to marry you, which brings me to my next point. If you want your boyfriend to commit to being your husband, then it's important that he feels you add value to his life. And I'm not talking the monetary type. What I mean here is bringing happiness to his life and being the best part of his day. When you can be the reason your boyfriend laughs or smiles, or be the person he goes to for support or a comforting shoulder, then he'll want to keep you around. To make him realize that you bring value to his life, there are a few key things you can do. For starters, appreciate him. Men love to feel appreciated by their woman, so make a point to not only verbally thank him for all the things he does for you, but also show him that you appreciate him by taking time to do thoughtful things for him. Now, this doesn't mean you have to bend over backwards or break the bank to let him know that you think he's swell, but rather something as simple as surprising him with a nice home-cooked meal after a long day or a back rub before bed. Those are the acts that will really mean something to him. On the other hand, challenging him in a way that makes him want to be a better person and showing a genuine interest in his day, those will also get you far. Simply put, by being your boyfriend's best friend, he'll realize that the idea of life without you is unbearable, which in the long run will do wonders for getting him to marry you. After all, if he doesn't, someone else could. Moving on, if you want to get your boyfriend to make the leap and marry you, then it's important that you have an unwavering commitment to one another. This means trusting each other fully and completely. It shouldn't bother you when your man goes out for a night on the town with his pals because you know that he's with you and only you. This works both ways too. He should trust you to be your own person and faithful to him even when he's not around. So many couples overlook this one and instead keep one another on a short lead. What I mean by this is that even though they say they trust one another, they still let their jealousy or worrying get in the way of their partner being their own person. So instead of you both being able to go and experience your heart desires, you don't, because you're too worried about upsetting one another or possibly even being yelled at, which, by the way, has no place in a relationship that's going to result in a happy marriage. Of course, trust comes with time, but if you're considering marrying your man, then now is a good time to take a step back and evaluate the relationship. Unless you have this kind of endless trust for one another, you should be focusing on this before jumping into marriage. My last tip for you is to be open with one another. Talking about the possibility of marriage in a casual, subtle way can do wonders for your relationship. Now again, I say subtly, so you don't want to throw out the "would you marry me" question at him. That puts him on the spot, which isn't fair and won't necessarily give you an honest answer. Instead, find a way to bring marriage into the conversation and lightly ask if marriage is something he wants to experience in his lifetime. His reaction should give you a pretty good idea, and chances are he'll ask you to. Opening up communication between the two of you will take you far. After all, maybe he was too scared or shy to find out if marriage is something you even wanted. Or perhaps he assumed that you weren't into that kind of thing. Who knows? The only way to make it known that you'd like to get married is to talk about it. So get chatting. Well, that does it for this video. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about what I've covered here, then feel free to post those in the comments below. I'll do my very best to get back to you as soon as possible. Again, if you enjoyed this video, then please take a quick moment, click the subscribe button below, and check out my other dating advice videos. If you like what you learned, go ahead, share those with your girlfriends. After all, it's your support that allows me to keep coming out with new videos for you. Well, until next time, take care and good luck.